Here it is, Tuesday, September 1st edition. Coffee with Carrie, Adam, and Storm. Today we're deep diving into our core values. Adam, can you pop those up just for a second?
Yeah, I'm sharing this to my Facebook, to my personal Facebook right now. So excuse my...
Maybe we'll double our membership numbers by doing that.
Maybe. Let's see if we can. Right now we have 0 viewers, but I'm confident we'll get to 10. Let's see what happens here.
All right. Well, anyway, yesterday, Monday, started off with our core values, which you can see right here. The acronym CARE, C-A-R-E, control the controllable, accountability, responsive, and energy. And as we mentioned yesterday, we were going to deep dive each day of this week, starting today, into what these mean. So today is brought to you by the letter C.
Carrie.
I thought it was like a Sesame Street throwback, but whatever. You have kids. Like, I thought you would get that. C today will be for control the controllable, manage what you can't. So, Storm, real quick, when you think of controlling the controllable and managing what you can't, what does that mean to you?
So I think when it comes to things that are controllable, these are things in your business that you can manipulate and have a direct effect on every single day in, day out, things that you can measure, things that you can either work to improve or, kind of let fall to the wayside. Those are the things that are controllable. The things that are not controllable, things that they're just complete outside factors. So things that you don't necessarily have the skill set to measure or the skill set to handle directly. And as we say in franchise, if you can't control it, outsource it.
All right. Well, plenty of source options available. Adam, you're a baseball player. I love using an analogy called curveballs, right? So
yeah,
curveballs are, I don't know. I never played baseball to the level that you did, but curveballs, my understanding, are notoriously hard to hit, right? So the things that happen during your day, you control the little things that you know that to expect. You prepare for those. And then you got to be able to manage those things you don't expect. And to me, those are the curveballs, right? So when I used to run my team in the franchise world where we didn't outsource anything, I always used to say to them, well, how do you do that? You got to get really good at hitting curveballs. You got to start to expect that the unforeseen is going to happen. So you control what you know is coming down that lane. But the stuff that's you got to manage, you got to be prepared to manage that. So
yeah.
You said some keywords in there, Storm Miller. Measure, I think a big one, right? You can't manage what you can't measure, and anybody who really has locked down operations is going to have some sort of tools or metrics in place to measure their success against what they're doing. Adam, what does control the controllable mean to you?
Yeah, so these the way our core values are is it's from the top down to the consumer and really the culture and the shared belief system that we have within our organization and ecosystem of ISI. And so it's one of those things where I hate it's just a pet peeve of mine, but I hate people I don't hate people. I hate when people have a victim mentality. It's one of those things that just drives me nuts because we can control, 99% of the things that happen to us, we can control. Fitness and business being one of those things that we control the majority of the outcome. Sure, there are going to be the minor things such as COVID that happens, but guess what? You control how you react to that. And so even though you can't necessarily control what happened, you can control what's next. And, when it comes down to fitness and for our members, fitness is a game of science. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's in versus out. And it's, you can control how much you move. You can control if you show up. You can control the food that you put in your body. You can control when you wake up. You can control when you go to sleep. You can control all of these factors that then inherently are your inputs to your output that you're looking for, which is results. And same thing with business, right? You can control how many phone calls you're making a day. You can control how you're leading your team. You can control how you're showing up. Are you showing up powerfully as a leader, or, are you expecting more of your team than what you do of yourself? Like, all of these things are things that we can control and play into, the end result and our destiny, right? And it's, what are you measuring? But typically those are outputs, and what you need to start measuring and auditing is your inputs, the actions you're taking on a daily basis that you can control, that align with your outputs, and so to me, that's what it means. I'm super passionate about it and could speak probably for an hour on it, but in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Well, I mean, we'll give you another 7 minutes if you want to go for that long.
No.
I feel like me a little personally right there when you were talking about like two of them, at least one of them was how many phone calls can you make in a day, which seems like a contest. I will make 190 phone calls today. And the other one was depending upon what time you wake up in the morning, which, I would like to propose maybe we should do an 8:30 at night call, like right as you're getting ready to go to bed.
I'm in bed. I'm in bed. I go to bed when my kids go to bed. But no, it's honestly, it's one of these things that we overcomplicate things, and when there's not clarity on something, you don't know what to focus on, and you don't know what your next step is. But the thing is that we tend to overcomplicate things, whether it's in our fitness, in our finances, in our family, in our faith, whatever it is, and we already know the answers. It's doing what you can control on a daily basis to inherently get the outcome that you're after. And so many times we see things work in our lives, but yet we self-sabotage and go back and try and find a different way of doing things. And it drives me nuts, because we all do it. Like, I do it too.
Yep.
But it's these things like, hey, reverse engineer what you're trying to do, and all of that is controllable. So for instance, Carrie, if you're talking about phone calls in a day, like, say it's a numbers game, right? So say for every 150 calls you make, then you're getting one good lead out of that, and you want 5 good leads times your 150 times 5, and that's the input that you need to do on a daily or weekly basis or whatever it is. Same thing for for our fitness. It's, hey, how much weight do you want to lose? Okay, you need to be at a deficiency of 500 calories a day, times that by 7 days a week. That gives you the amount of calories. Like, it hit me hard the other day when one of our coaches did a Facebook Live, and he's like, be an adult and track your food. And I'm like, man, like, here I am talking about all these things you can control. And, I've always been the person to say, I don't want to track my food. I don't like that. And granted, I don't like the macros and the carbs and tracking all of that, but it's not hard to track the calories. And that's a good step one for the majority of people. Just track your calories, and inherently you're going to be pretty in line with where your macros need to be. But it all just links back to things that we can control and that we can, put into play on a daily basis. And, if you're not prepared going into the day, and a lot of people think that preparation starts in the morning. It doesn't. It starts the night before. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing in the morning, then honestly, like, if you don't know what time you're working out, if you don't know what time you're taking your kids, or if you don't know what time you're getting, prayer or meditation, and like, it's not going to happen. Like, chances are it's just not going to happen. So.
Yeah, there's about 100% chance that you and I are going to have a text message at least back and forth on Sunday night before the week starts. Right.
Yep.
All right. So that was a very, very, very broad control the controllable. And yes, I realize now that you could probably talk for multiple hours on the subject. So let's bring that back a little more pointed to what a franchisee can expect within the model. So when we introduce somebody to your brand, what we normally do is we run through the core values. We talk about controlling the controllable and managing what you can, right? And doing that through KPIs, financial indicators. Just give me a real high level of a little bit about what a franchisee can expect from ISI once they're under the fold, to be able to control the controllable and manage what they can.
Yeah. So you guys will see me wear shirts or post about win the day. And that's all that is controlling what you can control. And so typically what a lot of people, especially in the fitness field, they're looking at, hey, did we have a good day or a good week based on the number of members that they signed up? And really they should say, hey, did we have a good day or a good week based on the number of bookings that we had for first visits? Because then the execution of the sales process, so you can't play the game. I talked about it yesterday with our franchisees in a brand wide call, is you can't play the game unless you have people in front of you to play the game. Right. And that's the lead indicator of success for us. So those are things you can control. What are the things that you can control to get more bookings or first time visits? Well, it's grassroots marketing. It's hitting every missed guest that we've had from the past year. It's re-engaging and reactivating old members. It's being relentless in pursuing that, because it does. Like I talked about the growth gap between motivation and the results. And in that middle is the grit, and it's the work that we're doing that isn't going to be an immediate gratification. But here's the thing, if you commit to 50 phone calls a day, outbound phone calls to new members, you may be just saving that person's life, for one, because they could be at a place where that's exactly what they need at that point in time. Number two, at the end of the month, you're going to look back like our Fort Mill location and be like, wow, we just signed up 60 members in a month. And it all goes back to things that you can control. And if you're executing the plan, so I'd say like, it's a little long-winded, but at the end of the day, I think it's very important is that, you and I spoke about it yesterday, was many people spend years and potentially even decades in their business trying to understand the path, right? The path to profitability. And we've already figured that piece out. You just got to go execute on it. And that's the inputs that you're doing every single day. And it's been proven time and time again that, hey, if you do these things, then this is your output and essentially what you're after.
Well, I got a text last night at 8:33 p.m. So congratulations, my man. 60 members and $4 million in 1 month.
That's awesome.
Pretty incredible. So to Adam's point, the win the day that he set up, I mean, I actually changed it so it does say #win the day when it shows up on my iPhone at night. But at 8:33 every single night, I'm watching this guy's numbers. All right, Adam Rice, thank you for that input today. I'm going to turn it over to you, Storm Miller. What's the weather in Philadelphia today?
So weather in Philadelphia is pretty nice today. High is 77 degrees. Humidity is not going to be too much of a factor. Only brings a real feel high up to 78 degrees. Calling for some thunder showers in the afternoon. And then temperatures warming up for the next few days and then falling off into the mid 70s this weekend. So we'll see if that changes. But right now, it's a beautiful day in Philadelphia. A little overcast, but it's nice out.
Last week you gave a 15-day forecast.
Yeah.
Are we still on path for that 15? Like we're like what, 4 days into that, 5 days into that? Are we still trending the right way with that 15-day forecast?
Yeah, no highs in the 90s whatsoever. I think over the course of the current 15-day forecast, highest temperature in there is like 84 degrees. So, it's like I said, fall weather is here. Football weather is here. Thank the Lord, because I missed it, man. But it's here in the Northeast.
You know what I like about you as a weatherman is, you're always going to hit a target you can never miss. All right. You're doing a great job. All right. That's it for today, boys. Adam, we got some credits.
Yeah. So I just did a video I filmed probably about a year and a half ago. But I think it relates to COVID more than we would like. So
you
enjoy.
COVID? Oh, man.
I think it relates to COVID. So we'll see here. Take a look.
All right, today's video is going to be about appreciating the resistance. And so if you're lifting weights or whatever it is, obviously you have some resistance. Some resistance helps you grow. And so many of us are going through a hard time right now, a hard season, a hard area in one section of your life. And so I just want to encourage you and really challenge you to appreciate the struggle and the obstacle and the resistance you're facing. Because I don't know about you, but when I look back on things, I see that my biggest accomplishments and my biggest growth has come on the backside of some of my hardest pain, and that's powerful in itself. And so, hey, stop stressing over all of this resistance you're facing and start to dive in and say, hey, I'm learning lessons right now that are going to help me, A, have a better life, but B, grow into that person that I have the potential to be. So face that resistance, appreciate the resistance.